Well, I can't believe that it's already day 12 of 14 days of Valentine's Day cards. Hi everybody, this is Rhonda from my paper garden here, a little creative corner in Grayson Gardens. The first thing I wanted to start off with was a couple of tips I have with my art supplies. This is one of those really large 12 by 12 plastic containers that I keep my current work in for Valentine's Day, and then I store all my Valentine's Day items and cards and that coloring in one box. And then my day-to-day work I keep in these little sleeves. I also do a lot of work outside the house, and so I take it with me. So for instance, inside this one bag, I've been creating like journal cards and other little tags that will go along in the future. And here's the project we'll be working on today. So I pull this out and I start from here. Just to cover what we started yesterday, this was day 11, and this was a collage card with a belly band that I stuck a piece of chocolate in it, and I made it through the whole 24 hours without eating it, so I'm pretty proud of myself. I also shared how I make these clothespins. Now, the clothespins I put together, and then I smooth them down, and I actually put a little bit of red on the corner because I like to keep all of my Valentine Day kits together, or my paper together, so I do that. I didn't really like this color, so I put a little washi tape on this one, and I'm starting to really feel left out of the stickles game. So I'm learning how to make my own stickles. So I painted this one pink and put some glitter on it. Okay, maybe I'll break down and buy some stickles. But that was yesterday's card. And then I also wanted to share all the cards that I've been making. Is I went and I put them into these little plastic bags, and it was so nice to be able to create these. This week I've already had 2 different Bible studies, and so I took all my cards and put them in these bags, and I've been sharing them with my friends. Now this was a collage card that I made on, I think, day 7, because it was all the paperwork I used day 1 through 6, and I made a collage. And then I had a scripture on the inside of, and we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love him, Romans 8:28. And every piece matters. And just like in life, every piece of your life works together and it all matters. And that's what I meant with this collage. On the back, I would sign it Rhonda for 2026, and this was day 7. And then yesterday, I actually created my own QR code. So instead of putting all my information, you can just quickly hit the QR code, and it takes me right to my YouTube site. So I handed these cards out today at the Bible study, just saying, I made this card for you. It's not signed. You can sign it and pass it on. And I was surprised of how many of my friends were just overjoyed because they don't get cards. I don't get cards either. But it was a nice way to just share the love. And since I pre-made 14 cards and now I'm making 14 cards, what am I going to do with 28 cards? So here it comes down to today's project. And today's project is I'm going to take this sweet cherub. This is out of the kit that I'm working with, creating with Jovi, as part of her design team. And this paper packet is called the Victorian Valentines. It's one of her digital kits for Valentines. And I'm using the sweet cherub from this page. I've talked all this week about the difference between premium paper and then a higher quality paper. And you can see the difference of the actual details of this page. But also, being in day 12, look how much paper I still have in this digital kit. Granted, I printed 2 copies, but I just want to show you the value of what a digital kit entails, because you can just create on and on and on, even down to these final pieces that are for ephemera, that you can make journal cards that I printed out on a heavier cardstock and just works so well. But getting back to the page that we're going to use today is this sweet little cherub. And what I did was I actually cut him out, and then I actually cut out the top, the border long, and then squished everything into it. And I did it all by hand instead of just actually molding the papers. When I pre-set up this work, I picked out 12 blank cards that I just had laying around the house because I have boxes of just regular cards. And I took those, and then I took a cardstock that I had. I used to be do creative memories back in the 90s, and so I just have a lot of cards. This one I actually definitely cut down the other day, so I know I could use it today. But I like to have the corners rounded because I like a softer version to it. And I'm now learning to open my cards because this past week I did the card upside down. So there's a lot of things that I'm actually learning on card making. Card making is not my first love, but I have been really enjoying this. And now since I saw the faces on the women as I blessed them with these cards, the smallest detail, you know, when you're an adult person and married with kids or grandkids, and sometimes you just want that touch of love from somebody, and to bless somebody with a little card, you never know how much that means to them. And so it was, I don't know who was more blessed, them or myself. Now when I tear my paper in half, I'm going to tear this in half. I've been using this is my favorite ruler now. This is a tear ruler, and it's made of maybe like a really cheap aluminum because it's not quite metal, but it's not plastic either. But I love the way, the details of how it tears. And I'm only tearing that just to get the first part off and to move that around. But the idea is to go in and get this little cherub. So I'm going to tear these pieces out. And I like to tear everything by hand. I'm actually going to keep that little heart up there as part of the design. And pull this apart. Pull out his little wings. So Creative by Jovi was where I'm starting with this collaboration. I've been really blessed to be part of her group, and I've really enjoyed meeting the other women. There's 4 other collaborators with me. There's Katie over at I Like to Cut and Paste. I love that name. Katie, and I Like to Cut and Paste. She's been doing a lot of fun, and I like to watch her. And so she's one of the collaborators. And then I've also been watching Creating with Jovi, of course, who's the originator of our project, who designed all these. Another kit that I'm working with is Love is in the Air, and it has some purple and beautiful blue tones to it. And I'll be creating something out of that tomorrow. Sassy Southern North Carolina Girl is another one of our collaborators, and her name is Jen, and she's been fun to watch with her different work. There we go. Now we're getting it. This is just kind of fun to do. And it's just sweet, sweet, sweet. I have a grandson who's 6 years old, and I would only think that he's this sweet. I haven't seen him in 3 years due to an ugly marriage divorce, but he was born with fetal alcohol syndrome, and therefore is autistic. And all I can do is pray for that poor little baby. I wish I could see him or have some insight to his life, but it's just so sad. Fortunately, it's my son's child, and he hears highlights of him every once in a while, so it keeps me somewhat connected. But gosh, when you feel that type of grief, it really makes you look and wonder what's happening in someone's life. His older sisters are beautiful children, young adults. They're 12 and 10. And again, I miss them terribly, but I've been kind of cut off from their mother, and that's just too bad. That's just really sad. So I just honor just these little things like this because it just reminds me, and it just makes me pray for them even more. I'm going to tear this part up in here and pull this on a little bit to create a little border at the top. So we're going to enclose this in. A little bit more. Let's see, My 60s Life is another one of the collaborators. That would be Lene, and she has some amazing scissor skills. Maybe that's why I don't cut with scissors, because I don't want to try to do what she does. Boy, can she cut. There we go. I think what I want to do is cover up, even though I like this band around the side, I don't think I like it as much as I thought I did. So I think I'm going to go in here and try to work to cover up the outside of this corner. And I think that's what I'm going to do. So let me get in here and do a little bit more details. Been working with this art glitter glue, and I do like it because I like the little pin on it to get the details, to get even the finest of corners to glue this down. But earlier I was trying to preset it up so it would be ready for this video, and that little top is so, it gets so plugged with glue that it's almost impossible to get in there and clean. To the point, oh, I don't have it here. I think I moved it. I was actually using an old mascara wand to get in there and clean it. Like, okay, I've got to think of something here. Think out of the box. What can I use to clean? Let's see, who am I missing? Oh, and Mary Ann's Craft Corner. She would be I think the last of our collaborators that have different pieces. So all of us are working with these different kits, and we all have such a unique style, and we're all completely different. Jovi has a playlist underneath her profile. If you go to her, you can see the different, not only the addition to these kits or how to get over to them, but you'll also see all the different collaborators in my description below. She has a playlist that'll give you all of us together. I created a playlist with just mine. Now mine all have like a vintage look. Most of mine are this, they call it torn paper, because I like torn paper, and that's my type of work. I'm just tearing and pulling things apart. Where's my bottoms now? Just to kind of do a lot of piecework. It's finally warming up here in the Northeast. Took my dog in to have his teeth cleaned. That's always exciting. So that brought excitement into our house. So he's doing much better. I think I'm just going to pull this off, and then we're going to glue that in there separate. In fact, it's just a little warm today. Warm as in like 12 degrees. I put these nails on, and now I can't tear. All right, pull that off. I may have to let that dry. We'll let that dry for a second, then I'll pull it off. I'm still enjoying what I'm doing. I haven't made a lot of YouTubes. In fact, I think this is, let's see, this is my 12th one of cards. And I'm still learning about YouTube. It's a lot of information to absorb. Because even right now I'm thinking, all right, I got dead time and dead space. What do you talk about? I guess I could do through the magic of music or pull something together. But in the meantime, I'll just keep doing what I'm doing. I'm going to add this little rose in here. Plug that in there. Oh, that fit perfect. How did that work? I don't know, but I'm going to put more roses in here. I do love roses. They're one of my favorite flowers. I never liked getting them because they died. In fact, I never liked red roses at all. Yellow roses have been my favorite all my life. Because yellow roses they're not as ugly when they die. Or red roses seem to die right away. And they have that kind of that ugly look to it. Yesterday when I was doing my card, you know, I've worked with these roses now for 2 weeks. I actually put chocolate in it. It's like, chocolate I like. I'm just going to put that up here. Kind of getting into my mojo here with these roses. Look at those beautiful little eyes. They're just so sweet. I kind of get hung up into what the card looks like. Not what I'm creating, but what the actual card is. One technique that I've learned, and now I'm actually remembering, is I'm right-handed, so if I take my right hand and I pull, that's how I get this white border. And I actually come from the art journal world, and so in art journaling, we're always putting this vintage photo, Tim Holtz Ranger, distress oxide ink on it. This guy, Jim Holtz. I think I need to change his name. Let me go in here and tear this piece now. I'll just clean up these bottoms. I don't know, he looks awfully sweet. So I'm feeling a little jealous about the stickle thing. So I went and got some pink paint and I put some glitter on it. And I thought, you know what, I'll create my own stickles. And so I figured out there is something I can do. So I had some pink paint. And I tried to put that over top of a rose, but as you can see, it covered the rose, and I didn't want that. But if I take this little bit of water and wet down my brush a bit, I can actually just kind of put it around this rose, and then take a little glitter, and I can DIY it myself. So there. No stickles, but I can create something for free. Because I'm determined to get that pretty little glitter on like everybody else. Because the benefit of the stickles versus like a glue that has glitter in it, apparently it's supposed to dry flat, and that's what I like about it. But see, now I can get that little bit of glitter. Oh, look at that butterfly. It's so pretty. And by having just a little bit of pink on my brush, even though it was been watered down, I can get that nice sheer look to it. Shoot, I've got some red here too. So again, I've got just a little bit of water. So I just want to have the glue to have. And more stickles. Nope, don't like that one as much. Get that off. There we go. Isn't it sweet? Oh, you know what? And then I don't have any glue. But that's, oh, that'll actually kind of stay right on it. But that came out really pretty. Now I like it. Now I'm happy. So this is, I got this at, I think, Hobby Lobby. Or even probably could even been from the grocery store. I buy these for camping. They come with all the different spices. But look at all the colors they came in. I thought that was a really great thing for $3.99. But anyway, thanks for being here, and thanks for kind of sticking with me. I got some bad news yesterday, and prefer not to share it at this point. But I'm a little down, and so creating really brings me joy. And creating with you even makes me happier. So thanks for creating with me today. And if this encourages you, please remember to like and subscribe. And always, gosh, I'm sorry. I'm just a little humbled by doing this. And I really appreciate you being here. And as always, may be rooted in grace, rooted in love, and grow in grace. Thank you.